Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest, the award-winning real estate professional from San Diego County. Brent Humpherys is in the house. Welcome.
Thank you very much. You had a lot to do with it, I'm sure.
Well, I'm just the radio guy and do a couple Malones here and there, but you're out there working your tail off, helping a lot of people.
It's been a real rewarding process.
Well, something that's nice to see when people are rewarded for hard work and effort and helping people. I mean, because I know you well enough to know that it's not about you; it's about helping another family. And it's great that your colleagues, your compatriots at the San Diego Association of Realtors have recognized you for gold status. Let's look at Recognition of Excellence 2017 official award winner gold.
Yeah.
Wow. Did they put you on a podium and sing to you? And
I would let them if it made me look taller. I would have done that because I'm 5'3". So
okay.
Podium. There's something attractive about that. Like if I could just stand on it.
You like the idea of a podium of a platform?
Platform.
There we go. Okay. You don't want to stand on a podium. You might fall. True. Okay. Let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money. I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. So let's look and see. We got to celebrate today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. I looked at the celebrations today. Then when I looked at it quickly, I knew it was going to get me in trouble. Then I decided, well, maybe it would be wise to slow down and read the entire celebration of the day. So I slowed down. I did read the entire celebration. And I thought initially it just said National Blonde Day. And I thought, boy, in this day and age, I don't think we can go with that one. We might have a little problem there, Brent. I don't know, but National Blonde Brownie Day.
Blonde Brownie Day?
Right. So we're not talking about the Girl Scouts. We're talking about, brownie. They're good. You haven't had a blonde brownie?
No.
Oh, they are extremely good. Having beaten anorexia, I am an expert in the subject, so I would be happy to, Donna Terrell, if you're listening this morning.
We're not talking about the Girl Scouts.
If you're listening, Donna, blonde brownies, we're ready for some. It is Celebration Day, so we'll move right along. Moving and checking the markets for you this morning. Are the markets open? The government's not, but the markets are. Dow Jones Industrial Average, 53.91 up. Oil up 3 cents a barrel. We're not going to talk about Taxifonia's rates right now, but we'll get there eventually. We'll do it later in the week. We got too much to talk to Brent about. Looking at the 10-year Treasury, it's up 1 basis point. Doesn't mean a whole lot. Up 2.64. And we're looking at this is interesting because we don't usually see it this way. The Fannie Mae 30-year bond is up 8 basis points. When the bond goes up, the interest rates go down. So we are seeing a little bit of improvement in the bond market right there. Not bad for a Monday morning on a government shutdown day. So we'll continue our reviews of the markets, taking a look what's going on in the markets. How did we get to this point? Well, with the Senate failing to reach a deal on a temporary funding bill and the government shutdown, essential workers need not appear for work. Now, I'm a business guy. Maybe we can just get rid of the non-essential workers. Technology, Have you noticed, I don't want to cause trouble here. Well, maybe I will. But have you noticed how when you get the business people in running government, you saw that the president said to the Department of State, you need to cut your budget by $6 billion. And the businessman leading the department said, okay, we can do that. And the CFPB, now run by a businessman, and it doesn't matter, man or woman, it's irrelevant. I use them interchangeably. CFPB said the same thing. We've got plenty of money. We don't need any more money appropriated. Interesting. I wonder how many more departments they can do that around the government and say, you know something, you need to cut your budget. Now, I don't know about you. There's a senator that has, I think a senator, might have been a congressman, came up with the easiest solution to the national debt. Now, in Washington, they don't like cutting anything. But let me ask you this one simple question. It's not very difficult. I think most of us will have the same answer. If I said to you, you had to go and cut your personal budget by 1%, 1%, save 1 penny out of every dollar. That means instead of getting the extra large or the venti coffee at Starbucks, you have to get a grande. Do you think you could cut your budget by 1%? Well, Congressman Penny came up with that idea because they call it the Penny Plan. For the next 10 years, every department has to cut their budget by 1%. And the budget would be, we would get rid of our deficit. Could you imagine that? By 1%? It's not that difficult, people. I don't know why. Only in Washington can they not figure that out. But I am looking and seeing here, just to give you a little perspective, that the S&P 500 averaged a return of 2.1% a month after government shutdowns and traded positive 80% of the time. So if you're worried about your 401k and the rapid increase we've seen in the stock market and your retirement accounts, your 401k, your IRA, your SEP, your Simple, and every other acronym you can come up with, don't worry about it. They continue to go up. The business people, they don't care what the government is doing. In fact, some of us say, well, if we get the government out of the way, we might even be able to do better. Maybe that's why with over 800 regulations repealed under the Trump administration, the government and business is doing better. Over 800 regulations repealed. Now, while the government was open, that's what is that, about 3 per day they're getting rid of? Just think about that concept. So as we continue to watch the Schumer shutdown, we'll see what goes from there. So we've got not a whole lot of news other than that. The housing data in the first read of fourth quarter GDP, existing home sales, the FHFA House Price Index, and new home sales are all coming out Wednesday and Thursday. So we're not going to see a whole heck of a lot right there on that excitement. We did look, got to share this one with you. I love this one. This was a lot of fun. I saw this morning. Brent, you and I can get in on this. The bars in Washington, D.C., they've come up with some special drinks. I don't know if you saw this. And being that it's for the government shutdown, all these drinks are $5. So here's just a few of them. We've got To Flake or Not To Flake.
Ah, very good.
It's a vodka martini, extra filthy dirty.
Okay.
We've got Rand's Neighborhood Affair, champagne brut, peach schnapps, cranberry, and grass clippings.
You'd think it'd be a punch.
Exactly, but you would think so. So we've got the Come On Chuck, Woodchuck Cider, Fireball. It's all Nancy's favorite. Have you ever met a Haitian? It's banana Bacardi rum, pineapple cranberry soda, and Guilt. And I couldn't miss this one, the Porn Star Punch, Stormy Jack Daniels, fruit punch soda served on an NDA. A Durban soda.
That's really good, the NDA. That's really good.
A Durban soda, Kentucky Dale's bourbon, soda, and snitch sauce. I don't know what that one is all about. And the Affordable Beer Act. Not a Bacan, and a shot of Montezuma Blue Tequila. That's all at the Capitol Lounge in Washington, D.C.
It's really good.
Right? I mean, anybody can have fun with that.
They've got a good marketer on staff there, that's for sure.
That's excellent. You gotta love all those. But let's see what else we can find in the news. The blame game of Washington, D.C. We've got the Trump shutdown and we've got the Schumer shutdown, each side criticizing the other. What if they just went to, the basics? Instead of having this 60-person vote for everything, just go to majority wins. I know the Republicans don't like that idea because they figure if they lose control of the Senate, they might be in trouble. The Democrats don't like that idea because they want to be able to blame somebody on everything. The Liberal Women's March across America that took place this weekend. Were you there? Well, if you're any kind of a conservative, I'm sure you weren't because they wouldn't let you there. That's just the way it is. Unbelievable. President Trump wrote his own op-ed for the conservative Washington Examiner. The president reiterated that he is on the side of ordinary working Americans and is always determined to put America first. He also highlighted his administration's success in energy production, regulation cutting, and you and I are probably feeling this one, the economy doing much better. And the Dems says Americans won't understand the bombshell memo. Really? Now, let me ask you this. Do you think that the Democrats in Congress are that much smarter than you? Basically, that's what they're saying. They're saying that if they release the memo regarding the malfeasance during the Obama administration, that the average American, we just won't understand it. Really? It just goes back to the arrogance of Washington. I mean, can you believe that kind of stuff? We're not going to understand it, so we won't allow it to be seen. Unreal. How in the world who keeps electing these people? Well, we're in California, so we know who elects these people. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, government shutdown, what it means for your real estate. We're going to talk about it. We're going to also chat about buying a home. It's more affordable than renting in 54% of the United States. 10 tax deductions you might be missing. And financial setbacks are common. How we expect to pay for them. All that and more. You can reach us anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694552.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Well, what are we going to talk about today? The real-time real estate segment. That's what's up next. The real-time real estate segment brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text Toolkit to 79564. Find your dream home. And they're going to find out if you can afford it. How about the mortgage calculator, the affordability worksheet, and yes, access to real-time interest rates. All that and more. Text Toolkit 79564. You can go to MBE Links, maryboyedwardlinks.com/toolkit. You can get it there as well. According to Adam Data Solutions, ATTOM actually is the acronym, 2018 Rental Affordability Report, buying a median-priced home is more affordable than renting a 3-bedroom property in 240 of the 447 counties, U.S. counties analyzed for the report. Yes, there are a little over 3,000 counties in the country. They only looked at 447 of them. For the report, Adam Data Solutions compared recently released fair market rent data from the Department of Housing and Urban Development with reported income amounts from the Department of Labor and Statistics to determine the percentage of income that a family would have to spend on their monthly housing cost. That would be rent or the mortgage payment. Darren Bloomquist, Senior Vice President of Adam Data Solutions, had this to say, I quote, although buying is still more affordable than renting in the majority of the U.S. housing markets, the majority is shrinking as home price appreciation continues to outpace rental growth in most areas, unquote. However, the report also shows that the average fair market rent rose faster than average weekly wages in 60% of the counties analyzed in the report. With rents rising, many renters should consider buying a home soon. And the bottom, I want to just pose this question to everybody that is listening. Do you know how much your rent or your mortgage will increase when you have a 30-year fixed rate loan? Just ponder that one. Rents will continue to rise and mortgage interest rates are still at historic lows. Before you sign or renew your next lease, let's chat about how you can get on the path to home ownership. And an easy way to start is free. Text Toolkit to 79564. Get that free Ultimate Home Finance Toolkit. Did I say it was free? Just remember that part of it. That is the real-time real estate segment. So I have checked my Associated Press feeds, and I haven't seen anything coming across the feed lately saying that the government has opened. So I'm going to assume, because I know that they had a vote about 22 minutes ago, that it was a procedural vote. Yes, I know that all those darn procedures that why don't they get rid of some of the procedures and just go to work? Maybe it'll be a little easier in Washington. But the government shutdown, how does it affect your real estate? Now, think about this one. There's a lot of items. Brent Humpherys did a whole lot of work on this. And one of the simplest items that I'm seeing that's on here that I just heard about this morning isn't even on the list, Brent. Government employees who are out trying to buy a house need a paycheck.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
Right? I mean, that's about as simple as it gets. If you're not getting a paycheck, if you don't have a current pay stub, do you think you can get a loan?
That's a really good point.
Unbelievable. Now the first one, we have to look at first the essential versus non-essential services.
Sure. I mean, there's this idea that the government is shut down, and the government is partially shut down. A lot of it is shut down, but you've got to consider the government's provisions for considering what's essential and what's non-essential. So if you're going to if you're going to head to LAX this morning and hop on a flight, essential services include the FAA. right? You've got to keep public safety going. So they're open. But when you look at
What about
non-essential...
TSA?
Well, yeah, but the FAA as well.
Right, no, but
Yeah.
TSA is open too, right?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, we'd have a lot of problems this morning. Now, I don't have to Google that. I'm on record. The TSA is open, right? No lines at the airport.
Yeah, they have to go to work, but they don't get paid for it.
Yeah.
Now, it's the other way around.
Well, I think they get
They
paid.
get paid,
just
they don't
get paid
show
right
up,
away.
they don't do anything.
Right. They're going to get paid, right?
You're right.
They're just not going to get paid right away.
Right, isn't that crazy?
I'm not correcting you on your show, though. I promise.
No, you're right.
But it sounds so horrible. They're not going to get paid. But I mean, you think about it. I mean, it's just it's a mess that Congress is getting paid and our military isn't. That really bothers me a lot.
It's ironic though, because there is a statute, or not, I don't know what the right terminology is, but it is in the Constitution that they can't furlough wages for Congress people. So that's why they get paid, and so we'd have to have a constitutional amendment. Now, I did see one of the Congress people this morning, former Navy SEAL, said he's donating his paycheck to veterans organizations for every day that they're on shutdown. And our kudos go to those individuals just like that. But let's talk further. Okay, so we've got the non-essential and essential. IRS.
Yeah. Okay, so you have the essential and you have the non-essential. And then within any division or agency of the government, you have essential and non-essential. So IRS. I have read very credible reports that the IRS is shut down. I've read some other very credible reports that get more granular in the data and say that 56% of the IRS employees are furloughed. So obviously, math. So that means 43% of the employees are not furloughed.
44.
So, it is 44. Goodness gracious.
Okay.
I was thinking 57.
Great real estate professionals generally are not mathematicians.
Math is one of my stronger points, but I did not just demonstrate that here. Gosh, can we remove the live feed, please? So, if you look at the employees who are not furloughed, why? Why does one report say the IRS is shut down and the other report says that a lot of it is not? Well, there are essential services such as collecting revenue. That's what the IRS does. So, if you're going to be sending a payment into the government, the IRS is going to have people there to deposit those checks. So that's one.
But on the flip side of that, if you're entitled to a refund, those people are not there.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Figure this out how that works. Okay.
And obviously record keeping. But if you are a home buyer,
the important part here, Brent, that we have to get to.
Yeah, the real estate part.
Right. If you're looking to buy a house, many real estate transactions, you have to have a tax transcript, a 4506T.
Correct.
What's happening with those?
Yeah. Well, so the tax transcript is what the borrower signs. That, as you know, the lender sends into the IRS saying, send me John's tax return, send me Susie's tax returns, to make sure John and Susie were telling the truth in their application. That's completely shut down. That's non-essential.
Okay, so if you're trying to get a home loan, if you're just starting the process, now if you're in process for any length of time, most good lenders, credible lenders, one of the first things they're going to do is send out that, once they get your authorization, the Form 4506T, they're going to request those transcripts because they take 2 to 3 weeks to get anyway. Right? So now it's going to take 2 to 3 weeks from the time that the shutdown ends, and they have to deal with the backlog.
I was going to say that, the bottleneck. Mm-hmm.
And also the fact that maybe it's going to infect or be affected by, are you trying to get 2016 transcripts or 2017 transcripts, which we can just start filing our tax returns on the 29th of January, next Monday.
Yeah, it's an absolute mess.
So that'll be a serious issue. Now, the next one that we want to look at, Brent, flood insurance.
Yeah.
Now, the majority of flood insurance, I'm sure that there are some private flood insurance providers, but the vast majority of flood insurance is from the National Flood Insurance Program. Are they open or closed?
They're closed.
Closed too.
Yeah. So if you can go to FEMA.gov and you can actually do an address lookup of your home and find out if you're in a flood plain, if you will. Now, just because you're not in a floodplain doesn't mean that the lender can't require you to have flood insurance. So if you are in one of those areas, or you're getting a loan through a lender that's going to require flood insurance, this is going to impact you pretty hard.
Now, here's a prediction based on absolutely no scientific knowledge, but I will share this with you anyway. I am going to take a stand here and say, you have to look at some certain areas where you would not expect a requirement for flood insurance. So I'm going to go and say, especially those of us here in California, we're watching the news all the time, and we see what's going on with the devastation with our fellow citizens in Montecito. And we saw this below the canyon fires, and we've all in Northern California. Flood is not covered on your traditional homeowner's policy. So water that comes from the sky down is covered, but if water is coming from the ground up, it's not covered. So if you were up on the top of was it Thomas Canyon? Is that what that was the name of the canyon that was out there? If you're up on the top of Thomas Canyon and the water coming down caused damage, there's nothing up there, so it probably didn't. Well, then you're covered under your insurance because that's water coming down. But if it's the flood, the result of that water coming down the hill, and you're stuck, well, that flood is not covered under traditional policy. And I don't know whether those homes were in a flood channel or not, but I know a lot of the folks up at the top of Anaheim Hills below the canyon fire, they're not in a flood zone. Brent, you and I were talking about in San Diego area, the homes that are below certain canyons and forests. Mm-hmm. Should they have a fire, they need to go out and start looking and saying, hey, I'm not in a flood zone, but I need flood insurance anyway. And my prediction is there might be some lenders that come up and start adding that requirement, even though the home's not in a flood zone. Mm-hmm. They're going to say, hey, something, we want to protect the collateral. You need to get flood insurance. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't surprise me.
I think everybody should call their insurance agent today and speak with them, because there could be a lot of surprises. There have been surprises. I mean, a lot of the properties in Montecito weren't covered.
Right, and we want to make sure that our focus here is we don't want you to get surprised. Make a good business decision based on fact and knowledge, not based on some surprises. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. We're going to continue the discussion with the award-winning Brent Humpherys, what a government shutdown means for your real estate. We'll also talk about tax deductions you could be missing and financial setbacks. They're common, but how do we pay for them? All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and, if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message. And as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. The Word on Wealth segment today being brought to you by AskAboutReverseMortgages.com. Are you 62 years of age or older? Equity in your property? Maybe you want to buy a new house and never want to have a mortgage payment in your life? The reverse mortgage might be the right solution for you. Check it out, askaboutreversemortgages.com. Financial setbacks, they are common. How are we paying for them? We've talked about this many, many times. An unexpected car repair, the sudden need for a new roof, the inability to keep up with mounting bills and debt. Almost 2/3 of Americans report they suffered a financial setback in 2017. Can you believe that? Almost 2/3 of Americans reported that. In its latest annual survey, the National Endowment for Financial Education found 63% of U.S. adults took at least one financial hit in 2017. Transportation problems, such as an expensive car repair, having to replace a vehicle, or increased commuting expenses, were cited by 23% of the respondents. Unexpected home repairs and maintenance, such as replacing a furnace, water heater, or roof, ranked second, striking a financial blow to 1 in 5 Americans, 20%. Rearing its head in third place was debt and mounting bills. 16% of respondents said their 2017 financial picture was negatively impacted by an inability to keep up with the debt or falling behind on bills.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Medical care for an injury or illness also tied for third place. How do we deal with these issues? Well, interesting enough, 36% of the time credit card, 31% of the time emergency savings, 28% of the time cash, 22% loan from a bank, 19% loan from a family or friend. That is the way we're dealing with it. Where is that emergency fund? Let's start looking at that. That's the Word on Wealth segment again, brought to you by our friends at AskAboutReverseMortgages.com. Let's continue our conversation with the award-winning real estate professional, Brent Humpherys. Congratulations again. San Diego Association of Realtors recognized you. Yep. And now you're here up here in Orange County, sitting here chatting with your humble radio guest.
You're so funny. You're so funny.
Let's talk about this.
I need to put you on payroll. You're so kind.
Well, you know something.
Hey, I owe it all to my clients.
You know something, and I knew you'd say something like that.
You wake up every day unemployed.
Yeah, you got to. You know something. It's not like you get to just go back and keep. You go back to a non-essential job. Right, it's you're going back and having to earn that check every single day, working hard for a family. I'm a big believer. I got rid of the term, or try to as much as possible, get rid of the term clients, because I want my whole team to remember that we're not dealing with a client or a customer. It's a family. Right, it's their castle, whatever it might be. Whether it's, $100,000 property in Desert Hot Springs or a multi-million-dollar property in Newport Beach, it's some family's castle. Right? I mean,
I like it.
It's amazing. Let's get back
to my branding.
Yeah, there you go. Let's get back to our conversation this morning about this government shutdown. Now let's talk about the FHA, the Federal Housing Administration. Are they essential or non-essential?
Essential.
They are essential.
But with restrictions.
Okay.
So FHA, obviously a wonderful loan program, putting 3.5% down. FHA allows so many buyers who otherwise wouldn't have had the savings to be able to become homeowners, which is wonderful. If you're purchasing a single-family home, FHA financing will work. But if you're trying to do multifamily, that's shut down right now.
And you know something, Brent? It's kind of ironic. Only with the United States government, right? They're going to say FHA to buy a single-family home is essential. But an essential part of getting that FHA loan is the 4506T transcript, which you can't get.
Right.
So let's figure out how you do that one. They say, okay, well, buying that single-family home, that's essential, but I wonder if they'll suspend the need for that transcript.
So a lot of articles I looked at, and I looked at a number of sources, right? Because you have real news, you have fake news, you've got people, just nothing more than conjecture.
Right,
yeah.
Sure.
It would appear that the lenders have figured out that they need to offer forbearance or to be a little more lax, lighten the restrictions during this government shutdown than the 17-day one. I counted correctly because it was October 1st to the 17th of 2013. So that math was really easy. I'm winking at you. If you can't see, if you're listening, on the radio, you don't see me winking at Ron, but. Last time was really, really difficult for people. We were all very, very, very concerned and very scared. I think this time the lenders are going to be a little more lax.
Well, 2000, as we get further and further away from the Great Recession, in almost everything that we do in the world of finance seems to be that we go overboard. Right, the pendulum always swings too far. Mm-hmm. Right, 2009, 2010, there were a lot of great people, great credit risks who could not get a loan. And 2006, 2007, there was a lot of really, really poor credit risks who could get a loan.
And family pets that were getting loans.
Right. So we always go too far one way or the other. So maybe now, as we get further and further away from that day, we're basically about 10 years out now. Maybe we're starting to get back to some common sense and some logic.
I'm hoping so. It seems that way. One of the bigger concerns I have is the Social Security Administration.
Sure.
If you want to borrow money, you need a Social Security number, and you can say that your Social Security number is 555-66, whatever, but you got to verify that. And if the Social Security Administration is shut down, which it is, it's very difficult to have a government agency verify that the Social Security number you provided was actually yours.
Interesting, because they do have that e-verify, so you would think that shouldn't be too difficult. But
they mentioned that.
But the important part, the important question here, Brent, is, and I don't know if this was because it really doesn't affect real estate, is I'm wondering if Social Security checks are going to go out. Right? I don't know that answer because we're dealing in real estate, but I mean that's a very, very significant question. I just talked about what would most of us do in the event of a problem. What's going to happen with our Social Security checks? Not ours, because I'm not there yet.
For the record, I'm not either. Just not to be defensive.
Okay. Government-sponsored entities, Brent. What's happening there with our Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Ginnie Mae?
They're looking to lighten the requirements as well and have people sign, I believe, affidavits that the tax returns are correct, and then I guess they'll get them later when the 4506Ts have been processed.
Okay. So interesting. So they're out there, and they're the ones that really should have had some sort of a contingency plan, right? So that people would know what's going on. Rural housing programs, that's probably going to be in the same area?
You're shut down. If you're looking to get a rural housing loan, you might as well put your plans on hold until the shutdown ends.
And be aware that the rural housing loans, that's a 100% financing with a modified mortgage insurance. They don't call it a mortgage insurance, they call it a guarantee fee. But just because it says rural, you might want to check with the lenders, because I know of properties right here in Southern California that are considered rural housing properties, and they qualify under the rural housing loan, 100% financing. So it doesn't necessarily just for our veterans, but that kind of bridges us into that one, Brent. The VA loan guarantee program. Where's that one stand?
Well, 95.5% of employees will still be working.
Okay.
So 4.5% will not be.
Okay.
I can't live this one down. I love that the Veterans Administration, I want to use the word declared. I don't know if there's like some ceremony, but
right.
They officially recognize home purchases as an essential service.
But the irony there again is, okay, so this is where our government does a wonderful job here.
Ooh,
so
sarcasm.
if you're a veteran, now the VA program is for veterans and active duty both. Mm-hmm. So if you're a veteran working in the private sector and you're still getting paid, you can get a VA loan. But if you're a veteran or if you're a active member who's got their pay furloughed, you might have a problem if this goes on for an extended period of time because you can't provide a current paycheck.
Yeah, that's rough.
I mean, what a bunch of garbage. I mean, that's the best thing I can say for it. But, our veterans, they deserve so much and so much praise for the things that they do. I mean, it's just amazing that there could ever be anything that's referred to as non-essential when it comes to veterans.
You need to have an applause sound effect where we can applaud our veterans.
Yeah, they are. We give them gratitude on Ron Siegel Radio every single day just because they are the foundation. If it wasn't for our veterans and our active members of the armed forces, all branches, and our first responders, we couldn't get here. We couldn't sit here and do what we do, Brent. And,
that's right.
Not only on radio, think about if you wanted to talk about a dumb government program in China. Well, you might only get to say that one time. It's just the way it is. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, we will continue our conversation with the award-winning real estate professional Brent Humpherys, talking about what a government shutdown means. And we might also even talk about some tax deductions you could be missing. You can start filing the California state taxes. I believe you can start that either today or tomorrow. And you can start federal on the 29th, I believe, is when they're going to start accepting federal tax returns. A couple of shout outs this morning. Good morning, James, Jean, Christopher, Scott, Marcy, glad to see you. Brad, glad you're with us this morning. Lisa, Bobby, Joe, Edwin, Joseph, glad to see you all with us this morning. Remember, you can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com. Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRENMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 1990. In the Mortgage Minute today, being brought to you by our friends over at Gold Star Mortgage. They are the only ones that I know of that have the Fast Pass loan approval. Fast Pass loan approval. You might be able to save somewhere between $10,000 and $50,000 on the purchase of a new home because you're making an offer that competes with the cash buyers. Now, almost every real estate professional I've talked to says that when they're trying to sell a house, what are the first two things that every seller wants to know from them when they get an offer? They want to know what is the price being offered. And the second thing they want to know is what are the contingencies? What's going to impede the transaction? If that's the case, and it is, with, like I say, with almost everyone I've talked to, then what you want to know is if you're competing with the cash guys and you don't have a loan contingency, might be a benefit to you when you're looking, especially if there's not a huge amount of competition for the home that you're looking to buy. Now, the Mortgage Minute, tax deductions that you could be missing. I'm not sure I'm going to get to all of them just because I don't always have Brent Humpherys. I don't always have award-winning real estate professionals with me. Brent Humpherys in the house. And tax deductions you could be missing. Mortgage interest. First-time homeowners and homeowners with mortgages of less than $750,000 will be excited to learn that mortgage interest is still tax deductible. Residents of most states pay taxes to their state and local governments. While there used to be no limit to the amount of deductible state and local taxes, that amount is now capped at $10,000. These are all part of the new tax plan. Charitable contributions will be changing and can get a little complicated as they involve planning out deductions for multiple years. Medical expenses, you got to look into these special issues. Child tax credit, casualty theft, and losses in disaster areas. After the tax year 2017, casualty and theft losses will not be eligible for deduction except in areas declared to be emergency disaster areas by the president. So for 2017, this will include such as Texas, Puerto Rico, and other areas of the disaster. 529 plans. If you're one of the parents who has a 529 plan to help your child save for college, it will be a relief to know that this is still tax deductible for this year. Sales tax is tax deductible. Education expense, self-employment, Social Security. Why are you still paying that self-employment? Well, self-employment, Social Security, you have to, but don't do that 401k or SEP or any of those. There's a lot better options for you than any of those issues. Those are just a few tax deductions we want to make sure you're aware of. That's from our friends over at Gold Star Mortgage, home of the Fast Pass loan approval. So we've been chatting this morning. Brent Humpherys is in the house, and we've been talking about what a government shutdown means for realtors. So during the break, Brent and I were chatting a little bit, and we want to clear this up because it can be confusing sometimes. Brent, we were talking about the government-sponsored entities, and the report that came out from the National Association of Realtors. Let me read this, and then you and I will chat about it. During previous shutdowns, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have continued normal operations, just as their regulator, the Federal Housing Finance Agency, since they are not reliant on appropriated funds. Fannie and Freddie are expected to announce relaxed procedures that would permit closings to go forward without federal verification of Social Security numbers and IRS tax transcripts. However, lenders would still have to obtain federal verification of both before the GSEs will accept loans for purchase. Any relaxed requirements would not apply to loan modification fundings. So let's think about what they just said here. The Fannie and Freddie will accept a relaxing of these guidelines.
Well, expected to announce relaxed procedures.
Right.
I'm stuck. I snagged my sweater on a nail on the words expected to announce.
Right, but here's the rub of it. However, lenders would still have to obtain federal verification of both before the GSE will accept the loan for purchase. So what that's really saying is the Fannie and Freddie will relax their requirements, but the lender, and they're going to relax that because that makes them look good. But the lender is going to be mandated to have those before the Fannie and Freddie buys it. Do you think any lender in their right mind is going to relax those requirements?
Doesn't sound like it.
Right? I mean, they stay in business by selling the loans to Fannie and Freddie. And Fannie and Freddie said, well, you have to have this beforehand, so we're going to have to put it on the lender's warehouse line. So the lender's going to pay interest on that and hope that the information that was provided is accurate.
The shutdown's not good for real estate and lending.
Right, so it doesn't.
A prolonged shutdown.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So I mean, and one of the issues there that Brent and I were chatting about during the break as well has to do with the fact that, and this is a perfect example of it, Brent, is that lenders not all, most lenders have some sort of what's called an overlay.
Yes.
Right? So what an overlay is Fannie, Freddie, Jenny, they all say this is the minimum that we need.
Baseline.
Right, exactly, a baseline. And the lender says, okay, but I don't want to be responsible for having to buy that back, so I'm going to require just a little bit more so we have a better performing portfolio.
Right.
Right, so those are some of those issues that are just in there. Now, let's think about this one, Brent. I'm going to throw this one a curveball at you because it's not on our list here.
I already botched the blonde brownie this morning. So go ahead.
Well, you know something, we can be just like the Padres, right? The blonde brownie, the 95.5 minus 100 or something, whatever that one, or no, the 56.
4.5. Hey, I got that one.
The 56 minus 100.
Yeah.
So
44, not 45.
We've got 2 strikes on you right now.
Right. Oh, there you go. All right.
So
all right, I'm ready to field your question.
You're ready to field the question.
Gosh.
Good. Very good, Brent. So now, what if we've been talking about the buyers that are having trouble getting a loan. What about the seller that wants to either downsize or move from Taxifornia to back to Texas?
Texas was my example because that's where it's happening.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you're stuck. I mean, you look at the 2013 government shutdown that again lasted almost 3 weeks. It was reported that 17% of residential transactions were delayed as a result of the shutdown. 17% is a pretty big number when you consider the total number of homes selling. And if you've got a seller that is a seller and a buyer, if the sale is delayed, unless they've, got to...
something, Brent? I was kind of on the other side of the fence of that one with you. Because, 17%, if somebody would have asked me ahead of time, what percentage of the transactions would be delayed, I would have thought it would have been a significantly higher number, right? Because we know that 30% of the transactions are purchased for cash.
Oh, I'm referring to only loan transactions.
Right, I'm saying,
okay.
But I'm saying, so 30% are purchased for cash, so they're not going to have a requirement for any government intervention. So the other 70%, I think that was right math, the other 70% does have some sort of a requirement. yet only 17% were delayed. Now, the rest of that 70 less 17, 53, I think it is.
It is.
Right? That 53%, wonder why they weren't, unless it was something that just went into, maybe those were ones that went into contract right as the shutdown was ending, so it didn't have.
That's true. Yeah, because it was only 17 days, so maybe they already had their 4506Ts, and it was just those within
that small window.
2.5 week period.
Because you wonder, to me, I would have thought that it would have been nearly every one.
Yeah.
Right, so if you have some questions, so the bottom line with all this, Brent, I think that I'm going to throw this to you in just a second, but my bottom line here, you need to have a great lender working on your team, so they understand and can kind of give you some guidance here. They might not give you the answer you like, but it's better to get a honest bad news than dishonest good news.
I would agree.
Right, you can't make an educated decision if somebody's you're paying the lender, you're paying the real estate professional to give you the best guidance they can. Mm-hmm. Make that phone call today. Call them and find out where you stand, where your transaction stands. And if you want a copy of the report from the National Association of Realtors, just put a comment on our paperwork on our page, and we'll be more than happy to get you some great information on this. If you want to meet Brent Humpherys, give me a call at 800-306-1990. He is the award-winning gold level real estate pro. I'm embarrassing him over here today all morning long. But we've changed the billboard we've even made for him to say award-winning, so that we can remember that until next year. We make sure that he gets that award again. And be sure to set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun, have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.